Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff Mom Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio.
And welcome to another episode of Happy Hour. Edition of We're going to watch Sex and the City together because Anney's never watched it and I'm making her watch all of them if we're still alive by the end of this. We'll see.
I have hopes. I think so.
I have hopes. We are coming to the end of season 2. We're in the second to the last episode of season 2. That means we're going to have our listener participation happening soon. So look out in your emails if you send us your names.
Or however you contacted us. That's how we'll contact
or Instagrams.
You. Yes. And if you've changed your mind, that's totally cool.
That's okay.
But let us know so we can tell the next person. Because,
until we run out.
Just nobody.
And then there's nobody. We're just going to call friends. Be like, I know you don't care, but you're going to be on it now.
Right.
But yes, we are doing our watch through of Sex and the City, getting good reactions from Anney, get some good life discussions.
We do.
Surprisingly good life discussions based on the 1999 series. Yes, and it looks like Just Like That is now out again. Not a sponsor.
No.
Now, right now, this point while we're recording.
Yeah.
Which is a huge mistake.
Right. And also, have you watched any of it yet, Samantha?
I have not. Have you?
I haven't, but I was reading I'm planning to. I was reading the descriptions, and the second episode is about Carrie having a fight with a podcast advertiser.
Oh, too real. Or is it? Let's see how they depict it.
I know. I got to see it, though. I'm like, really?
Like, how do you know? Because we may or may not have been in a scuffle ourselves recently. I don't know.
we get in a few. I've been in a few scuffles. It usually works out fine. But
they all usually work out. There's some like miscommunication, and then I get feisty and petty. It's a little bit petty. Not as petty as some others, but just a little bit, just enough. But anyway, back to we are doing season 2, episode 17. But before we start, it is a happy hour. We do often sip on something yummy. Because, it's one of those.
Yes.
We did the Cosmos, I think, the first few episodes, didn't we?
We did. That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. And we'll have to do that again. Because I made pretty good Cosmos. I will say that.
You do.
But that is not what we're drinking necessarily today. And if you are participating with some drinks or whatever else you're doing, do it responsibly. We love you. Care for yourself. So,
yes.
Anney, what are you sipping on?
Red wine. I was going to... I bubbled up some of the flavored water we got from a sponsor. And I was going to make a gin and tonic before I remembered we have a thing tonight for work. So I should not do that. And then I was going to drink a beer, but I was like, the carbonation's not good for your voice. So here I am.
I gave up on all that. My bad. I just have to gargle some salt water.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Again, I think maybe we're worried about this a touch too much, but
yes.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine.
Early in the morning was fine. 6 p.m. is like, nah, it's over now, bro.
Yeah.
So yes, I am actually drinking a bubbly drink. It is a pineapple sparkling juice beverage from a retail store that I really much like. This was like a nice find, and it probably would be a really good cocktail. But once again, as I have told you and many listeners, I am older now, and my alcohol tolerance makes me sleepy. So doing a job sleepy, not recommended for me, who is naturally sleepy. So keeping it non-alcoholic today with my bubbly, sparkling pineapple juice beverage, as it says. I'm really on a pineapple kick. I really love pineapple right now.
Pineapple's great.
Everything. So good. There is a Jamaican bakery that does a pineapple turnover.
Yes.
Makes me very happy. Anyway, now that we're back, as we always do at the beginning of these episodes, Anney, please give us a recap of what is happening that you can remember.
Okay. So, we started the season with a breakup with Big, and then they were dating again, him and Carrie, and then they had a mid-season breakup where she realized she liked dudes who aren't good for her, and then there's been a lot of dating for her around dating the family, dating which was involved with someone who had, that was my finest moment, someone who had short orgasms. I got correct. And then, so that's kind of her. Miranda broke up with Steve. Steve broke up with Miranda. They broke up. And so she's also dating a bunch of different interesting folks, including Will Arnett, who like was an exhibitionist and had sex in front of parents. And then Charlotte is also trying to find the one, which has involved her kind of putting her foot in her mouth with her friends, kind of putting her beliefs on other people. Also, somebody falling asleep on top of her during sex and deciding to go to a sex class about that. And then, yeah, Samantha continues to explore and all kinds of things, whether it's sports guys or really enjoying this sex class, actually, or talking about like BDSM stuff at a BDSM restaurant, all kinds of stuff. So
you're throwing it way back. Okay, you got all the things in there.
We're getting to the end of the season.
You're correct. You are correct. Okay, well, this episode 17, is titled 20-something girls versus 30-something women. What do you think this is about?
Well, I think it's probably about that, exactly. I think it's about how, like, when you're 20-something, there's sort of this, like, younger student vibe, like, not yet an adult, versus, like, 30, you're already, like, you don't know what you're talking about kind of situation. I feel like we had a similar episode to this with Timothy Oliphant, but, like, dating someone younger, or maybe dating... No, it would have to be someone younger. And kind of the conversations that go with that and the situations that are different that you find yourself in.
Very generic. I like it.
Yes.
Well, we'll grade you as we come along.
Okay.
The city's completely dead during August.
That's because everyone's in the Hamptons.
We're stuck in traffic trying to get there. But this could be the last summer that
I'm trying to figure out, have I ever met anyone who actually went to the Hamptons?
I mean, next year, who knows?
We talked about this before because I said this feels like a very New York thing. A lot of the shows I watch based in New York have this conversation about the traffic and getting there. And I was like, is this really what's going on? And I feel like somebody wrote in and I was like, yeah.
I have personal relationships of my own, you know.
Not with my clients, you don't.
And I have my own career to worry about.
Your career is being my assistant.
You're so deluded. I mean, you wouldn't even know what's hot if it wasn't for me.
Nina, unfortunately, you don't seem to grasp the vast difference between us.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh.
You stood in line at Studio 54. I stood in line at Studio 54. The movie.
The movie. But what's so funny is that is so outdated. Anybody her age now would be like, what? What is that? Either one of those things. What is that?
Excuse me, do you remember us in our 20s?
Dimly.
Have a little compassion, ladies. The only thing worse than being single in your 30s
Love that
in this
their
city is being
luggage,
single
except for
in your
Miranda, all match.
That
Like, I have one thing of luggage, and it does not match.
like the bus to summer camp.
That was something in high school where I was like, am I supposed to have a matching purse for every outfit? Who does this? Seems ridiculous.
They said this place was shabby chic. I'm thinking it's much more chic.
These towels are mildew.
Oh my.
Actually, this whole house smells like mildew. It's not mildew.
I feel like when you go to like Airbnbs, that smell is almost the same thing. It's like it feels stuffy
Yeah.
and overly Lysoled,
Yeah.
which I guess I
I think
appreciate,
that's-
but
Right. Yeah. I think it's the, multiple people coming in. But also older houses like this, like they have just so many interesting quirks.
Evidently, while we had taken the Midtown Tunnel, Charlotte had taken the Time Tunnel.
Hi.
Hey.
Come on in. You guys remember Greg? Hi.
He thinks she's younger than she is.
Oh.
And you know
Oh
what?
my.
As I've hit my like stride in my 40s, I'm like, all right, do I look 40? And I keep asking people that repeatedly. And I know
Sure.
no one's going to tell me the truth. No one. I'm like, no, but seriously.
Maybe I could send you something to read sometime. Sure. You have no idea what that would mean to me, to have someone like you as my mentor. Oh, well, mentor. So could I call you sometime in the city? If I could just spend some time with you, that would be so cool. Of course. I'll be looking at
Super interesting way to network.
Networking is so strange anyway. I feel like this is a pretty awkward way to do it, but a lot of times it is like, we're at a party, go network.
Yep.
And it feels odd to me.
All right, somebody puked on the deck.
Oh, sorry.
Ew.
Stacy and Holly did too many Jello shots.
What are you, 25 now?
Good morning.
No, 27.
Whatever.
that week back in the city. I wondered.
I've
what
never tried
was
to be
the allure
younger.
of the 20s? On
I've
one
never
hand,
purposely.
there's great skin tone,
I think one time somebody was like, is that your age? I was like, yeah, I don't know.
The only time is like when I'm trying to fool like internet for something. I don't want you to know my exact birthday, so I'll miss around the dates.
Mhm. I feel like my friends and I, when we first started going to my grandparents' beach house, we were like sloppy drunks all day, all the time, puking.
You had some stories.
Yeah, which drink responsibly, but once we got older, it is much more like Miranda, like I'll go enjoy.
Well, obviously,
Nice.
again, not drinking during our happy hour episode because I will be sleeping.
Do you think that 25 is too young to write a personal memoir?
Well, as long as it doesn't deal with incest, Prozac, or partying, no.
Well, it does deal with sex, or rather not having sex. It's about how girls my age are saving themselves for marriage.
That's not where I thought that was going to go.
Saving
Okay.
what for marriage? Our virginity.
Are you seriously telling me that you've never had sex with a man?
You know, I was with that group of people during this time,
Yeah?
1999. That was the beginning of like the
Consider
purity culture.
sex.
Are you implying I'm some kind of Lewinsky?
No.
Some kind of Lewinsky. Oh my God.
Yep.
I get it. No jobs of any kind.
No jobs.
Watching these now, it's kind of like, have you ever had sex with a man? Have you never had sex with a woman? There's like a lot of that.
Yep.
But then, like, if you're like me, maybe you're not into it.
Oh my God, he is such a fox.
He is
Did you
such
just
a
meet him when I was
fox.
at the bar?
I never used that phrase. I would have been her age-ish around this time.
You
No,
liar, Samantha.
I would never say the word he's such a
While
fox.
we sat under our umbrella, 20-something girls sizzled on the sand like rotisserie chickens.
Excuse me, when did tanning come back in style? Hand me the 45.
45. Didn't know it went up that high.
45.
in a
And I now
microwave
it's
and
at
not
70.
Yeah, they're
I was
talking
trying to
about SPF.
buy sunscreen the other day, and it was like 70. I'm like, okay. I read it doesn't matter after like 50, so why are they doing this?
Climate change.
Maybe. But it doesn't affect it. Like, it literally doesn't.
Right.
The SPF really is not effective. Or maybe it has been now. Someone tell me.
Where's she going?
To the drugstore? Charlotte really is in her 20s. She's got crabs.
Oh my gosh, she really does have crabs.
That night,
Wow.
I called Dr. Migo. I figured it was an emergency.
I like that they don't, like, they do stigmatize it and make it a joke, but they don't act like it's not, like, it's abnormal
Right.
and, like, the
It's a
worst thing
thing.
possible. Like,
Right.
they are, like,
Implying that it does happen.
yeah, like, you have to be a dirty person for that to happen. That's not necessarily true.
Now this,
Obviously.
where she's talking about Charlotte's situation to the guy she just met. I don't know how I'd feel about that if I was Charlotte,
fair.
but
That's fair.
Is it you?
Oh dear.
Yep. Big.
Look who it is.
What are you doing here?
What am I doing here? What are you doing here?
Do they like run in the same circles? It's big, everybody.
I mean, obviously, because he's rich.
Carrie, this is Natasha.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
I'm gonna guess she's
really?
younger.
Natasha's
Carrie.
parents have a house here in East
He's not called a cougar. What is he?
Excuse me. It's nice to meet you.
Sugar daddy is too nice of a compliment. Because she's also, the girl's rich on her own.
Yeah. Dirty old man.
Dirty old man. Let's go with that. Because he's older than Carrie. So I think he's, at this point, he's late 40s.
Yeah.
And you don't bat an eye. But for me, if I were to date someone that age difference, 26 even, like I would be like, hell no. Like that makes me feel dirty. Okay, that was the end. Big is back. We are not happy with the 20-something-year-olds.
Again.
Yep. I don't want to give you too much credit because you just generically guessed.
But I feel like I was close with my generic guess.
I'll give you a C, so you're passing.
Oh,
You can't get quite a B. You didn't give me
C plus.
specifics.
C plus.
I'll give you 3 out of 5 stars.
All right. I'll take that
We
one.
give you the middle ground here.
Okay.
Yeah, so summertime in the Hamptons.
Mm-hmm.
Did not go so planned as for everybody, except for Samantha. She came out on top, taking over the event. I don't think she's getting paid for it, I don't think. So she just took over and made Gina look good instead of letting it fail.
Is Nina or Gina?
Yeah. It's just Nina,
Yeah.
You're right. Nina G. I was adding that G.
There we
in the
go.
beginning.
You just combined it into one.
Combining it to one.
Uh-huh.
And then we have Charlotte getting crabs. She every time, like for her though, she's like the cautionary tale that whenever she does something that's a little out of line, she gets into trouble. Like whether it's the
Yeah.
double dating and she gets caught,
Right.
and now she just like throws caution to the wind, lies about her age, and then gets crabs. Like I feel like she's like, yeah, she's over the top, but she shouldn't have been put all through all that. That's unnecessary. Writers.
It's like to date Samantha.
Darren Star, what are you doing, man?
I do feel like her character is so interesting because she is the one that's like looking for the one.
The one.
And she has that idea in her head. And like, not to shame her at all for like all the people she's dated, but it does kind of feel like it's a punishing of her of dating, lying about her age. You've got crabs, the double date. They both find out. They become friends.
Right.
You're abandoned. Like,
Right.
yeah.
The dude falls asleep on her. Like all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Just never goes well for her.
It's kind of implied like she's boring, but also to me, and this, I grew up in a small town, but to me, it seems like she's doing way more than I was ever doing.
I think someone actually made an account of how many people they slept with based on the episodes. And it's high. Not that matters, but it's also like the thing that I used to be like, how are you not exhausted? How do you have time to do all those things and have sex with that many men while having a full-time job and hanging out with your friends? That's not possible.
No.
How do you meet these men? That's the other part to that. We already had this episode about the dating, and I'm like, it's hard. Who are you? Where? Maybe New York is a whole different beast when it comes to like the amount of men.
That's true.
And like you can meet and never meet. As for Atlanta, again, I would go through picking back up on dating apps, and I swear to God, it would just regurgitate the same 3 people.
Yeah. I feel like I have read that somewhere. That's kind of the problem. One of the issues with online dating, which is not different than in real life dating. In a small town, it's a small town. And I have friends who are like, I will drive an hour to date somebody in the city, which to me, again, exhausting.
Also, I think if you live in the city, you'll refuse to go outside of the city.
I know. I'm a terrible person.
That's me. I'm like, you don't live in Atlanta? Nah.
Yeah. I mean, you could put up those. I just do feel bad because I have friends who will make the drive, and I'm like, I wouldn't make that drive.
I would never.
But
I'm never coming to see you there. See you when you come through here.
Or it's like a rare special occasion. I will show up.
Right.
But yeah, it does feel very like kind of city girl.
I feel like I'm not, like, I've heard people say that repeatedly, like, because you put your location, how far your distance is, and I'm like, 5 miles. That's too far.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's also like I feel I was thinking about this the other day because I was before the pandemic, I was a very outgoing person. Like I might not drive super far, but I would come and I would hang out. And I liked it. A lot of it was performative, but I did like it. And I like this morning I woke up and one of the first thoughts I had was sometimes I miss the old Anney and sometimes I'm just happy with the new one who doesn't have to do any of that. Yeah. So I'm watching this episode and they're in the Hamptons and they're at this cowboy themed party. And I'm like, I think I might be done with that thing.
I already told you, no, absolutely not. I'm like, I'm over all of this. Like, unless I have to do it for my job or because it's my friendship, like there's a friend thing, then nah.
Yeah, like I love Dragon Con. But that's like the 1 year, like I think I would do it for a very nerdy thing that I loved, but like just the going to a party like that. Unless it was a friend or it was like a very nerdy thing. And even then, because a lot of people who throw those nerdy parties, if I don't know them, probably know.
I will not go.
Yeah.
Most of our events that we have to do for work, if you don't go, I'm not going.
That is true. I always know when you ask me, I'm like, the question she's really asking is, does she have to go?
True story. But yeah, so the 20-something girls versus 30-something women essentially is the difference in likability, maturity, and how people function. And we talk about this a lot because even in our show, in our crew, we have a vast age. Like I am the oldest, and then you sit pretty further down from me, as we discussed, and then we have Christina, our super producer, who is further down, and then Maya, our executive producer, who's a little further down, and then Joey, who is all the way down, just getting graduating from college. And then so we really do have like 2 decades worth of generations here. And I find it interesting because when we have a conversation, it doesn't feel like it's that gapped out because the interest between you and Joey is pretty similar.
Yes.
But the way like we communicate or things that we think we might be important is different, or how we would do something or what we see as something is like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when I was watching this, I did like the message of compassion. And I think also, though, like young people are smarter than anyone, like than we give them credit for. And it's amazing how quickly you forget that. But at the same time, I remember being like me at 21 knew nothing. Like that feels like remembering a different person. Like I just had so much growing to do and learning to do. And so I could relate to that kind of being like messy and just I was just all over the place then. I would like dart here, dart there, dart. I was just all over. So I thought that was interesting, but I do think that's important to remember as well, is that age doesn't equate necessarily wisdom or
no, and I definitely would agree. And I think on top of that, the level of awareness, I think the younger generation is more self-aware than before. And I think that's very good to know. I will say, and I've reiterated this, my mid-30s and to even today, I'm so happy to be here. 20s sucked for me, and I hated it in my 20s. Again, the age-old adage of like, youth is wasted on the young. I did not understand that because that's just such a weird statement. I'm like, what? Yeah. What does that mean? And at this point, I'm like, oh, the confidence that I have now, I really wish I had. Yeah. At that point where I could have, not that I could have done more, but I had more opportunities to make the decisions like that were life-changing then to today, like that shaped to today.
Yep.
I don't think I would change anything because it would have completely altered where we are. But understanding where I am and being comfortable and caring little less of what people think of me and being somewhat happy of where I am and understanding what it took to get here. So much more comfortable. So much more comfortable in being able to say no. So much more comfortable in being able to stay at my house. So much more comfortable in not having to compete with people. Like it feels better. And then also having the money to fix things that I couldn't fix then.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's, speaking for myself, I think that's one of the things I look back on and it really makes me sad is that when I was in my 20s, I wish I had known then that, like you said, I could say no, that I wish I had been more educated. Just in general, about like consent, life stuff, all kinds of stuff. I wish I'd been more educated and that I had the confidence to know, because I was so insecure, that I had the confidence to kind of be like, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
That's my big looking back that I wish I had. But it's all like throughout this episode too is very much the societal preference for younger women,
right?
So that's there as well,
right? We just started on that conversation, obviously, as we're introduced to Big's new girlfriend. It's gonna play a bigger part.
That was in And Just Like That, right? She was.
Yes, she was.
She was.
Yes, she was. Very good.
Oh, see?
So you kind of have a spoiler. Yeah.
I do. But I think I'll still won't guess anything and I'll still be shocked. Because apparently I'm not good at it.
It's the way they took it. I don't know if they meant to, but it makes Carrie the villain.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well,
things to come.
Things to come. Which, speaking of, yes, we are going to choose our name right after this. So be looking out for the listeners who have entered. Be looking out to see if you're the winner. And again, if you don't want to do it anymore, no hard feelings. Just let us know. But that, in theory, is the next episode we're doing. So
true story.
Yes. Of the Sex and the City one, because we alternate. But all right. Thanks for joining us as always. If you would like to contact us, you can. Our email is stephaniemomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter @momstuffpodcast or on Instagram and TikTok @stuffmonevertoldyou. We also have a YouTube. We have a TeePublic store and we have a book. You can pre-order it at stuffyoushouldreadbooks.com. You can also get it on Audible. Thanks as always to, our super producer Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.